Hello students. Last class we saw why we want to study EIA, what is the need of EIA for the country, and what is the protection method that we have to take, and what is the basic concept, what is the salient features, and we saw what is the introduction. Right? These all we saw in the last class. So this class what we are going to see is that EIA procedure and elements, what are the objectives of EIA, and we are going to see what are the factors that will affect the EIA. So these three topics we will see in this class. Okay. So the entire procedure is taken into two steps. The one is initial environmental examination. We call it as IEE. Right? We call it as IEE. The next one, it is the full scale environmental impact. We call it as EIA. This is the major thing. Right? So in the initial means it is a basic thing. Right? If you want to go and get a project done, first you will go and see whether the project is feasible. Like that, the initial stage. That we call it as the initial environmental examination. If it is feasible and other things, then we will go for the full scale. Either it is there, then it is called as the full scale examination of the EIA. Right? So it is the initial IEE. It is the initial environmental examination. So what is the need of this? Okay, why we want to go in for an initial examination and what is that it is all about? Right? So the reviewing the environmental integrity. Right? Integrity means whether this is okay, this project is okay. Right? So if I want to demolish a forest of 1 acre and I have to go in for a construction of a resort, it is not an environmental integrity, right? How many trees I have to, spoil, how many lands of forest, how many animals living food, that is livelihood I am going to demolish. All these things I have to take into account. The next one, it is the project screening, right? So the screening process is that whether the project is feasible, right? Okay. So I can't construct this paper plant in the center of a city. It has to be the side of a river. That is the project screening. The next one, ensuring project-oriented environmental management. Project-oriented environmental management means how I am going to take care of the environment. How even if it is having some impact, negative impact, I am going to take it and you are considering it. How I am going to take care, how I am going to manage the environmental things. And also minimize the effort, expense and the delay, right, of the project. Economical, it should be economical, it should be timely, feasible, the delay should not be there. All these things I have to take into account. Whether I am going for a new project or I am going for a development of a project. Assessing the potential environmental effects. Either it is a positive effect or it is a negative effect that I have to take. The next one, examine based on the available recorded information. If it is there, some information is there now, with the initial, there is another project that has been taken care of everything now, that I have to take into account. And also for this initial thing, I have to go for a professional study, right? A professional judgment of the expert should be there. Okay. Simply I can't go yes and no with the environment. I should have a professional who is having a very good experience in that subject to tell yes or no, right? So what is the next in the IEE is that the IEE results indicate that a full scale EIA is needed or not. Next step we have to go or not, right? If it is an initial stage, there is no problem. It is okay, everything is clear. Then they don't go in for a EIA in detail, right? That is a major advantage of this IEE. Initial environmental examination indicates that whether a full scale EIA is required, right? EIA is required or not, right? Any environmental management parameters such as environmental protection measures or monitoring program, it have to be adopted, right? Actually, if it is a complex project, then it will decide what is the next step. Right, whether to go for a very detailed EIA or whether it is okay, this is as they have to be modified, whether the environmental protection measures has been taken, fully controlled, whether the monitoring programs has been adopted in the project, whether this project will not give any effect to the environment, adverse effect to the environment. This they will be studying with this IEE. What is the next step that IEE is? I told you that in the last things, if it is IEE is okay, means EIA is not required, right? If IEE is not satisfied, then we have to go in for this EIA. The next step we have to go. So what is that means? Whether IEE will tell whether if full scale study is necessary. Identify the key issues and tell, okay? And it will identify the key issues and it will tell whether we have to go in for this EIA up to which measures, right? So, okay. So, the key issues that has to be taken into control has been, for full analysis of EIA has to be considered. Okay. The next one we have to take what are the designate issues. With the initial, actually they will think what are the positive issues, what are the negative issues. Once they decide that one, then they can go in for, if the EIA is required also, they will be mostly concentrating on the issues that was given out by this IEE, right? That is what, to designate the issues and deserve only a cursory discussion, only with that cursors. What are the points that was given by IEE? They again don't want to go in for the detailed study, right? So to identify other environmental review and consultation requirements, whether apart from this, any other environmental issues has to be taken care of. Whether any other things that is affecting the surrounding has to be taken care of. That will be given here. So what I want to tell you here is that with the IEE, what is the two thing is that they will say IEE is okay, so no EIA is required. EIA is the second step, environmental impact assessment. IEE is the initial study, right? So if it is not required, then they will go in for the same thing. If IIA is required, then what is that they will take it from IEE is that identify the key issues they will take and what are the impact they have given they will take. What are the things alone that has to be taken and studied in detail that they will take, and then they will go in for a review committee is needed, any monitoring committee is needed that they will be considering. This is the first step of initial environmental examination. The next one, it is the full environment, that is the EIA, environmental impact assessment in a full scale. The first one, it is IEE. In IEE, if the environmental project is satisfied, the new project or the development plan is satisfied, then they don't go in for this EIA. Otherwise, they will go for this EIA. What is the EIA? Is the multidisciplinary approach and environmental impact analysis to crucial study, right? It is a crucial study in the decision making process. That is, they will study all the in and around of the project, how it is affecting the environment. Main thing, it affects the environment and areas of potential impact, negative impact or positive impact, and what will be the alternatives for this. This they will be studying here, right? What are the actually what is the main thing in EIA? I am repeatedly telling that it is the natural sources, right? So natural resources, air, right? Quality, air quality, neighborhood effects, rivers, storms, forest, all these things, right? Whether that I told you as last class I told you, if it is near to a Taj Mahal, very heritage, where it will get affected, all these things will be taken into control, right? So they will be having a potential assessing system by which they will assess the entire problem, positive impact as well as the negative impact of the project on the environment, right? Okay. So there are 3 functions of EIA. The first one, it is the scope. We will study this 4 things in detail. The first one, it is the scope. What is the scope of the EIA? Then how to identify, what is the identify? After identification, how will you predict what are the things that will come into this? These are the problems that may happen, and this will, how it will affect the society, how it can be rectified, prediction, and then the assessment and the evaluation, analysis, right? The analysis part they will be considered. First we will go in for the scope, right? So in the scope there is 3 important things that we have to take into control, we have to consider is that the important issues and concerns, right? So IEE, the first step they will tell what are the issues that will be happening, what are the things that we have to take into action, what are the things that we have to consider, that will be taken as a scope. The next one, areas of less concern for the present acts. In some places IEE will leave some areas which is of a major impact to the environment. This they will be taking into the second one, and the regulations requirement. As I told you, 1994 EIA Act was established in India under MOEF, Ministry of Environment and Forest, right? MOEF. So they have a very stringent, strict rules which is regulatory requirements are followed or not. This is the scope. So based on the scope, what and all they will achieve is that they will have the commitment of an organized and systematic program agency, right? So they have a very, this scope, what is the main thing in this EIA is that they will have a very organized structure, and also they will have the commitment towards that, and the public participation in the environmental process is very necessary. Either they will give a questionnaire to the places around the people, they will get a questionnaire answered and they will get, or they will have a poll, right? To whether this project can be established in your place, like that, they will have a poll, right? Where the people can vote, right? So this is the second thing. The next one, the public must be made aware of what is to be happening there. Okay, whether all of a sudden I can't go and construct one thing in the center of a place of environmental importance, right? So I have to make public aware, okay, here there is a factory coming. So if the factory is coming, these are the positive points, these are the negative points. So they will be they have to know what is that happening over there. And the next one is the area coordination with interested and affected agencies and the public, right? So there will be every project that is happening will have some negative forces also. So that we have to get it coordinated, and all the things has to be well settled. Otherwise this project cannot go ahead, right? The next one, we have to go in for the identification of the important issues and concerns, right? So the issues may be based on the peoples or based on natural resources, because everything at the last we are going in for the healthy human being and the preservation of the resources, right? So the areas of concern of particular project and actions are the legislative and regulatory requirements. I told you, according to EIA, what are the regulations that is there, that has to be sincerely and strictly to be adopted using this. That is the main scope of EIA, right? So what is the purpose of scoping? The first one, it is the defining the proposed action, right? First, right, if for example we will take one industry, right? So one industry, we will be taking it as a pharmaceutical industries, which I have to take, which I am going to establish. That is a new project, right? So to define the proposed action. So where I am going to propose this pharmaceutical industries, whether it will be affecting the, man, or affecting socially, or how it will be affected, and culturally what is the change that it will go, and what is the effect on the water streams, what is the effect on the natural resources, like whether I am going to demolish the forest or the irrigation land, everything I have to make it right. Then enlist the cooperation of the agencies. So they will have a list of agencies whom they are going to work with, right? So what is the cooperation? They have to give an agreement, right? All these things are taken care of. This will be taken, problems are all, this negative impact has been removed, right? This agency will be helping us in this accord, everything that they have to do. And this is the most important thing, identify what is important and what is not, right? This is in between of two things. In environmental impact, whether it will have so much of impact or other things, we have to go economically how it is it, right? Both the things, whether it is important or not, whether this project is necessary or not, right? All these things will be taken care and set the time limits on the studies, right? So what is the time limit of the execution of the project? Whether it will be a short-term effect or it will be a long-term effect, that they have to study and collect the background information, right? So what is the background? What are they going to do? Whether it is, if it is a pharmaceutical industry, then we can tell that it will be the impact will be there with the peoples, right? It will be useful for the peoples, right? It will be able to cure some diseases. So that they will be there and identify the required permits, right? So this is very important. Okay. If I am going to have a building near to a forest, I have to get a no objections certificate from the reserve forest area. If I am going to get a project done inside a city or a town, I have to get it from the corporation or a panchayat. That is a no objection certificate, right? So all the required permits, right? Whether if I am going to even dump the waste somewhere, I have to get a permit. If I am going to dump the waste in the river water or the flowing stream nearby, I have to get proper permit and I have to ensure that the limits are followed, right? So in the identify the other requirements according to the EIA, I told you that is very essential that 1994 Act is followed. Now 2024 didn't come to enforce till now. Determine the range of alternatives. If there is no there is some impact, negative impact is there, then we have to go in for either any alternatives can be done. This is the proposed plan of to study the scope, right? The next one, it is identification. I told you the 4 steps in EIA. One is scope, identification, prediction and analysis. You remember like that, okay? The next one, it is identification. So in identification, what we are going to do, the existing environmental system, how it is going to get affected, whether it is a positive effect or a negative effect, that I have to study. And the components of the project, right? So the main thing, components of the project, as I told you, the execution, the initialization, the execution, then the production, then they have to leave the waste also. All these components, whether any effect is there, that they have to study. And the definition of the environment modified by the project. That is, if there is any change that is they are taking in when they are executing the project, that also should be identified here, right? There will be some sensitive parts, right? That sensitive parts will not be given so much of importance in the project. But that we have to identify in the EIA, and that has to be questioned and that has to be taken care of. That is what, including all the components of the project. Overall, what is this is that the purpose of the preliminary assessment, that is the EIA assessment, is that potential for significant environmental impact are the initial set of alternatives. The main thing, what is EIA? Main thing is that whether this is having a positive impact on the environment. The peoples will be healthy, right? There is no natural resources will be demolished, right? All these things will be taken care and it has to be identified and it has to be taken care. And what is the other things is that whether we are going in for a proposed location, if it is a forest area somewhere, then we have to think any other location may be feasible for this study. If not, only we have to go there. Okay. If there is any other location most feasible, then they have to go in for a change of the location. And project alternatives and characteristics must be reviewed. Wherever it is possible, the economical things and also most feasible things has to be taken into account. For example, I have given an example here. You can see that the project consists of a construction of a highway or a park or a land use plan, right? So whether I am going for a highway or going for a park construction or going for a land use means using land for commercial purpose. And what are the characteristics of the settings, right? Whether this land use or the highways which I am going to know, how much area it has to be taken care, and if I am going to take a highway, what are the areas it has to pass through, right? whether it is passing through some industries or waterways, then I have to go in for a construction of a bridge over there. If it is going to over a canal also I have to go. And if there is a lake and I should have a positive, possible thing that it should not cross the lake, right? It has to go around the lake. Like that, all the possibilities and what are the characteristics, the setting, without affecting the natural environment, without affecting the environment. And the potential affected area, whether it is an urban area or it is a rural area or it is a natural, natural resources or it is the habitat that is by the human beings. Which area will be affected most? That and all I have to study here, identify. I have to identify. The first thing is the scope. What are the scope of the project and what will be the thing that if the project has to come into account, what is the positive and negative point, everything I have taken care. Whether the project is as per the regulations. The second one is the identification. Identification, what will be the possible ways, whether it has to be there or we can go in for an alternative, whether it will be affecting the place or not, everything that has to be identified. If there is a river or a stream has to be modified, then we have to cancel the project, right? Because a river or a stream has a flow on its own, which should not be disturbed. The reduce the habitat of any unique, threatened or endangered species. All of you know the endangered species in India, mostly we have so many endangered species. One of the species is tiger, right? So even in the tiger reserve forest, nowadays they are not allowing any, that is a lorry or any means of transport from night, 9 o'clock till morning, 6, 7 o'clock. Why they are not allowing? To have the species alive, right? So like that, so many things. They are having so much of regulations like this when they are going in for this EIA. And divide or disrupt an established community, require the displacement of businesses and farms, right? So the next identification, what is that, is that whether that is already that type of industries or everything is there in the existing place, right? Why it is the need, that we have to identify whether all the same type of project is available or established, it is in the same place, right? And what is its identity, why it is necessary, that we have to identify what are the remaining sources, everything that is affected throughout the place. And the next one, we have to, for this we have to ask questions. What are the questions? What will happen if the project does not come into existence? Right? If the project is coming into existence, all the things. If the project is not coming into existence also, what will happen? That is one major question will be asked. We have to identify that one. If it is existing, if it is coming to existence, what are the positive and negative? If it is not going to be established, what are the positive and negative? What is the second question mostly we have to ask is that, what will be the negative impact and positive impact on the surrounding areas? Certain parameters. What are the parameters? We all know. Bio, physio, chemical, culture and human beings, right? So the identification, mostly they will be taking care, EIA focuses on the 6 parts, right? So India is an irrigation country. We all know that we are having mostly we have to protect our agriculture and the irrigation land, right? So EIA mainly identifies whether it is not affecting this 6 part. The first one, it is the crop productivity, right? So and no way it has to affect the irrigation part, crop productivity. Whatever the plan that we are going to develop or we are going to modify, it should not affect the crop productivity. Next one, air quality. Air quality is mainly due to the pollution from the industries. And before the pollution, the industries has to lift out the polluting air into the atmosphere. They have to treat well before thing that has to be, will be strictly followed. The third one, water quality. All of you know that aquatic resources, the BOD, COD, dissolved oxygen, everything has to be taken care, right? If that is not taken care, then they will identify this whether it is taken care, otherwise they will stop there itself. EIA mainly focuses on identifying this thing. The nutrient status of water. That is what BOD, COD comes under, and the nutrient status also will be interrelated. Drinking water quality, whether it will affect the quality of the place. Whether it is there in the ground now, it will go infiltrate into the ground, and it will be adding to the groundwater. So at the groundwater level, if it is going to affect the entire water resources, drinking water resources in the area will get affected, and the availability of the agriculture land, right? So one or other way, if you see now, one part it focuses on the agriculture and also on the irrigation. The next part it is focusing on the men, right? The men and also the our health, right? So the next one is the prediction. The prediction we will be seeing on after identification, we have to predict whether this is possible, whether we can go in for this project, whether we can predict whether this project will be successful or not, right? Identifying the problems, after that predicting what will happen if the problems exist, right? So it is a quantity and spatial dimension change in environment will be identified, and establishment of the probability of the impact. That is the main thing that we will be predicting. And also the next one will be that is the impact, that is positive impact, and also the negative impact we have to predict, right? So also the future, what will happen, right? We have to predict the future, right? The future, if the company is to be established, what will happen in the future, not only the nearby, right? So the next one we have to predict the direct and the indirect one. So three major problems we have to predict. One is the direct effect, the indirect effect, and the cumulative impact. So the direct effect will be in the aesthetic of the area, the removal of some place and other things. But the indirect effect will be in the additional housing to be provided for the persons who are going to reside there, and additional water facilities has to be provided. And it is a cumulative effect, means based on the project cost, the actions, everything that will be taken care. So the next one, it is the intensity of the severity of the impact also to be taken care, whether it will be affecting the wetlands or affecting the parklands, affecting the natural resources or the wildlife animal or the human being, that has to be taken care. And the degree at which the effects are likely to be highly controversial will also be taken care. Okay. So the main thing is that almost what is predicted is that whether it will withstand the endangered species, whether it will have any negative impact on the endangered species, it will have any negative impact on the human beings. The last one is the analysis part. In the analysis, there is 7 points, that is identifying the major activities, selecting the environmental components, selecting the type of impacts, assessing the possibilities and probabilities of occurrence, determining the degree and time factor of impacts, designate impacts as positive, neutral, negativities, determining the trade-off among the activities. Overall, what is there? There is 4 points we have seen now. One is scope, identification, prediction, and analysis, right? So these are all comes under the EIA. EIEE is that is the initial environmental studies. If this study is saying that no EIA is required, we can directly go for the project. If it is saying that EIA is required, then we have to go for this 4 steps. One is to find out the scope of the project, whether it is feasible or not. Then identify what are the negative impacts and positive impacts. And the third one, to predict what will be happening in the future, right? And to get the analysis, whether it is there, everything will be taken care that we are going to study in the assessment and the analysis, right? So the next class we will be seeing about the objectives and the factors that will be responsible for the EIA, right? Okay, so with this we have, what we have seen is the concept, salient features, and what are the steps, that is the methods in the EIA, IEEE and EIA we have seen. Okay, we will see the objectives and the factors affecting the